I'm Mouse. Welcome to the Gustibus. I chose this name for a reason, because there is a wonderful Latin saying, de gustibus non est disputanum, which I believe is Seneca, and he said, and everyone translates that to mean there's no disputing taste, meaning everybody's got their own taste and you can't really argue about taste. But I choose the more subtle meaning of this, which means there are some things that everybody agrees on. You know quality when you see it. And the same is true of food. And so I want to talk to you today, and Ed wants to talk to you today, a little bit about taste. And then we want you to try a bunch of things, not so that we can tell you what you're supposed to be tasting. That's not important to me at all. What's important to me is that you understand how your brain interprets taste. Because then you can hack this incredible body. This body is this beautiful machine. Taste is one of its many hackable interfaces. And you can reprogram yourself any way you want as long as you know how it works. Okay? So, I'm sorry, are you having trouble hearing me? Not like I'm not loud enough already. Okay, the motivation for this talk happened when Ed and I and a group of others got a wonderful invitation to a HackCon in Norway. And from the moment we landed on the plane and our host greeted us with Norwegian chocolate, to our visit to Norway's McDonald's, to the time that we got to try reindeer thanks to Dragorn, everybody raved about the food. How good it tastes, how flavorful it was, what the quality was. Everybody just went on and on and on about the food, except me. Now, don't get me wrong. It was great food. It was just fine. But to me, it wasn't anything spectacular. And so I began analyzing that, because I analyze everything, and especially when I'm a weirdo and everyone else is the same, I try and figure out why. And it occurred to me that the reason I didn't find it special was because I eat that way every day. And so I began thinking a little bit more about it, and I realized I'm a snob. I'm a food snob. And in my defense, I come by it naturally. So was my dad. And I have lots and lots of stories of childhood relating to food, but I think the absolute best example that'll tell you what I mean, when you guys went away to summer camp and you went away to college, your care packages probably consisted of Pop-Tarts and Doritos and bags of Oreos. Mine contained caviar, blini, and creme fraiche. Yeah. I got a package on my doorstep once that was timed to perfection because the figs were absolutely right, and it contained figs and prosciutto to wrap around them, and a note from my dad saying it's particularly good this year. While my mother was content to give us macaroni and cheese and hot dogs, SpaghettiOs and stuff, my dad wasn't. And I think that a lot of my neural programming is different from most people's. And Ed is a food hacker. So she plays with her food. So you want to talk to us about a little bit?
All right, let me step over this way. Hi, I'm Ed. I'm a stepmom, so I have to cook for kids occasionally, and a husband, and who's a fairly picky eater at times. But I grew up in a lot of small towns around the United States. My father's an agriculturalist, and he grows sugar beets. So I grew up in the sugar industry, and I grew up playing with the food chemistry, and really just, whenever I can, try to make different combinations of food to make things just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more creative. And yeah, I like to play with my food. I don't really know where else to go with that.
That's great. Thanks. So, what you're going to get today, you're not going to get a talk on really how to make really cool, interesting, fun stuff with food. What you're just going to get is the neuroscience behind it, and then you're going to get to try the stuff yourself. Okay? So, we'll start with this. Everybody remember this map. You remember, probably in either elementary school or middle school, there'd be somebody letting you put like paper on your tongue, and the paper would be impregnated with something to see where you tasted bitter and where you tasted sour and you tasted salt. This map is a complete lie. Your taste buds exist in clusters. And on the clusters of your taste buds, there are chemical receptors for everything that you can taste. It's just that they're more dense in certain areas and less dense in other areas, which is why you tend to taste sweet more toward the front of your tongue than in other places. But you can literally taste every what do we call these things? Flavors all over your tongue, and some of them toward the soft palate and the back of your throat, which is why when you drink wine, you should inhale it first, that sort of thing. So when I began researching this talk, I found some very interesting things. The first is that, this is probably going to seem obvious to you, taste is programmed as a result of evolution. And what this means is that you are programmed to prefer the foods that give you the most calories for the least amount of effort. And those are the sweet foods and the fatty foods. Okay? So that gives you the highest bang for your buck. When you taste these foods, there are direct connections right to the brain, particularly for sugar. Sugar is one of the few things that can pass through the blood membrane barrier, which is why when you go and take an exam, it's always a good idea to have had something sugar, a candy bar or something like that beforehand, because your brain runs on sugar. Your brain runs on glucose. What happens when things that your brain craves, when you're having something particularly fatty or particularly sweet, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. So you're essentially getting the same exact chemicals as you would get from Coke. And this makes what you eat very important. Because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, hold on for just a second. I need to get something straight. Never mind. Just a few months ago, maybe not even that long, a man named David Kessler, who used to be head of the FDA under Clinton, decided to find out why he couldn't control his appetite, why he couldn't resist certain foods, and he began researching. He went to numerous food scientists. He went to a number of food producers, commercial food producers, and to a lot of different salesmen, and trying to figure out. And the book is meticulously documented. It's called The End of Overeating, and it's by David Kessler, and I recommend it. It's dumbed down for the masses, but about a third of the book is the documentation and the references, so you can actually read the science yourself. But basically what he found out is in the last 50 years, the commercial food industry has been altering the way that you perceive taste. They have been reprogramming your brain for you. And this scares me. If you buy any prepared mixes in a normal supermarket, if you buy low-quality meat in a normal supermarket, if you eat at any chain restaurant, a Chili's, an Olive Garden, an Outback Steakhouse, if you eat at any fast food restaurant, the balance of fat to salt and fat to sugar has been changed in the food that you're eating. And the texture's been changed. So what's happening now is that when you eat this stuff, you get a very strong hit right immediately so that you begin to crave it more. Have you ever had the experience where you've gone to eat potato chips and you didn't really want them, you saw them there and you eat one, and then you eat another, and by the time you've eaten the third or fourth, you want more? What's happening there is that you are essentially setting up your brain to crave this. And the more you eat this, the more you crave. And the really scary part is that the food that you're eating in these chain restaurants is no longer being cooked in the restaurants. It is pre-cooked in the factories, where they inject it with more fat, for one thing. Usually they'll put in a fat or an oil marinade, or they'll pre-fry it, which replaces about 50% of the water with oil. And they also tenderize it in such a way that it doesn't take nearly as long to chew. So you get this massive flavor hit, you get this brain charge that says, give me more, give me more, give me more, and you lose the ability to know that you've eaten. You lose the ability to become satiated. And the technical term for this in the food industry is hypersalient. All of the food that you get, unless you cook it yourself, if it's got more than 5 ingredients, it is hypersalient, and it is designed to get you to crave more. So, what I want you to do today is I just want you to take the time to slow down Okay? Ed and I spent a lot of time preparing this. We want, and we'll answer any questions that you have about it, but we want you to just taste some things. Taste them slowly and figure out what it is you're actually feeling. So the first thing I want you to try, we need to open the wine bottles. The first thing I want anyone who's over 18 to try. Okay? Banyuls is a French equivalent to port. It's the best example I know of to explain to people what happens when you pair a wine with a food, because it has an immediate result. This is absolutely unimpressive stuff. There's no reason you want to buy it. It is just meh. Until you pair it with chocolate or with cheese. So I have brought today some Venezuelan chocolate, both dark and light, depending on if you don't like it. And what I want you to do is take a sip of the wine, and then you probably won't like it, or you just won't think there's anything good about it. Then I want you to try the chocolate. I want you to let it melt on your tongue. Okay? Chocolate has to melt or you can't taste it. And then I want you to re-sip the wine. Okay? And just see how it opens up in your mouth. And it really does. It does this. The best way I can describe it is this. I'm not the kind of person that can tell you that this tastes like raspberries and there's a hint of mushrooms. The man I'm married to can, and he's really intimidating to cook for. But I can tell you, I know what I like. And I want you to know what you like as well, and to understand why. So I am sorry to have to tell you that we have to charge a little bit for this, only because we have to recoup the costs. But we were thinking that if you want to do all the experiments, maybe $5 or $2 per experiment, except for the balsamic vinegar, which you can just taste for free. Okay? Is that all right with you guys? I'm sorry to have to do that. If I could have afforded it, I would have. So the question now is, how do we do this logistically? How do we get it to the most of you at the best time? So if someone else wants to come up and help us pour, Stevie, you want to come, or you want to come up and just help us pour, and we can get more out for everybody at the same time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like or don't like. Everyone has their own personal preferences. One of the interesting things about your taste buds is that there aren't the same amount on from one person to another person. And certain people have really densely clustered taste buds, and they can't stand things like broccoli or anything that's the slightest bit bitter or even highly spicy or salty, and they're called super tasters. And there's nothing it's just the density of these chemical receptors on their tongue that affects that. So if we can just pour. How many are we, by the way? And I love you all.
I think the answer is many.
Many. Okay, well, we'll just do our darndest. We are many.
We are many, hear us roar.
So let's pour this is about 2 sips worth. Okay with you? Okay, I'm going to move these to the front. And as everybody pours, we'll all move them to the front. Why don't you just come up, anyone who's interested in trying it, come and get a piece of this chocolate. You know what? Let's put it in a cup.
Put it in which cup?
Just stick it in here. And thanks, you guys. I appreciate your doing this.
Of course.
You need a 5 back.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Grab one of these.
Yeah. I want a second cup. Oh, there's another one there.
So taste wine first, and taste chocolate.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, anybody you can get would be.
Yeah, join the party, Tim. Oh, that's too much. It's a little extra.
That's what you call it, a grab and go. You gotta grab it and you gotta go.
Yeah. Anyone who wants, of course, you'd be welcome to help anytime. You know that.
Such a little pour.
Who needs change? For what?
And then you guys.
I'll hand you want. Well, here's my
Take a
5.
piece of chocolate too, or just the wine?
Taste the wine and the chocolate.
Okay.
Oh, it's not that chocolate. Wrong chocolate. Wrong chocolate. Wrong chocolate. This is for later, you guys. This is for our second experiment. Okay. This chocolate. So I need 4. Here, let me put some out on the plate. 4? It doesn't matter. I got both milk and light because I didn't know what people prefer to this. The other chocolate is all dark. If I could have afforded it, I'd have brought you truffles because this works best with truffles.
Sure.
4 wines over here. I need a 4. Would you please? That'd be fine. 1.
What are you gonna do?
It's okay. It's okay.
Alcohol abuse.
Yes. This is a Venezuelan chocolate and it's quite good.
We're gonna move the line.
Guys, half the people go this way, half of it go to the left. Make a line. This way.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. You keep everybody in order for me. But did you get yours?
Everybody.
You got some. Okay. And I need to.
Me and her. Sorry, it's just I'm trying to pour this quickly. It's kind of hard to pour it quickly and efficiently at the same time.
I'm just going to go ahead and sneak a few pieces in here for you.
I tried to get more.
You can only get 3.
I can only get 3 bottles right now. It's
There's these 3 that are set aside for us.
imported from permanently in the Bay Area, but I live in New Jersey. So
If you haven't paid, give me money. If you have paid, please step down. But this one,
you can tell the difference between them.
have the honors. It's okay.
I'm trying.
Little pieces.
Let's get those.
One more?
Those are 4 that we're putting aside for us.
That's fine.
Yes. Here's the first one. That's why we're putting this aside. Yeah, so let's, I don't want to run out. I don't want to do like a huge
Paid,
build-up
step
and
down.
then
If you
let
haven't
people
paid,
have
give
it.
me money. Thank you.
I'm out of cups.
It's more over here. Stack right here. So the Daniels is not imported by very many people. I can give you a couple of things.
Okay, here's the rest of the cups. Here's one for you.
Aaron, did you get yours or both?
Do you want everyone to keep these cups or what? Or
Okay,
how many
and
do
I
we
see.
have?
We should have plenty of cups. I had my But
I'm going to get this one.
taste the wine first. Just take a sip of the wine, and you'll find that you don't. It's okay, but it's not great. And then let the chocolate melt on your tongue. What?
That's like Manischewitz.
Yeah, yeah. It's totally unremarkable. It's just meh.
Okay, anyone else?
This is called Banyul. And the other thing you want to try this with is it's brilliant with a sharp cheese. The other thing it goes extraordinarily well with is a Roquefort or a blue.
Cool. Chocolate?
So I
Someone coming. That's
we're gonna
come to your 5 minutes.
okay.
I'm gonna have red stained fingers by the end of this.
Oh, it's all right.
It's all tasty. Yeah,
So
there's
do you
also
notice it open up? Suddenly it doesn't taste as bad.
It is completely different.
If we have to, we've got ice cups too.
Did you change anything? Drop some points for this? I know, I'm just...
Can we take them foreign color-coded monies that's not green?
I love foreign color.
We're gonna forget it.
Throw it in.
Okay, well, that will keep it step from this
Okay, I
side.
need 2 over here.
Hockey players on it.
I know, and hockey players are awesome. Yeah. They are also chemical receptors. So essentially, the olfactory senses are similar in nature. They're just not wired to the same parts of the brain. So, but they react at exactly the same time. So, and different. If you look at a brain scan under an MRI when somebody is eating something, you'll see certain portions of the brain light up.
yeah, there's still plenty of wine.
Okay, good. Give people more. There's plenty. There's still plenty.
Are those all the little cups? Or?
Yeah, I think we've used all the little cups. Are there any more down there?
There's still another
Do you
bag.
have any more little cups? Yes.
There are 4 altogether.
Oh, Mouse, can we get some of those?
Here's cups. Yes. Hugs to both of you.
That's one massive shot. Oop, that's
Yes.
It is. It's kind of like a mob.
Awesome.
At least we got a little bit more organized now.
You do. And then grab
chocolate.
a piece of chocolate.
Have wine and a chocolate.
Guys, there would be.
There's no cheese.
No cheese.
There was no cheese. There was only chocolate.
I don't know if that's for this or something else.
Those
cheese is a lie.
chocolate are what you're aiming for. The rest of it's for
Kind of
later.
sick that I just picked up that shirt actually. The cake is a lie.
I'm just curious. More people. If you guys over here want to come this way, we've got a decent line too. So if it's way too long, go either way. They're mixed.
2 for 1, 5 for all. So if you just want to do this, it's $2. If you want to do each of them, you give us $2
It
each.
tastes like Manischewitz to me. Quite literally.
You know what though? We have
Justice.
Yes, they're all the same.
These new tents just don't look right.
The one on the paper.
That's okay. Just look at the economy.
Is that everyone? Are we good? Looks like we got everyone. Okay, yeah, done.
Yeah.
Everyone good?
We good?
Everybody gets up.
All right, now I got these.
Hi. No, I'm pretty good at
It's
that.
called Bon Youll. I like it. It's good with chocolate, isn't it?
Okay, well, my password too.
Try it with cheese. Try it with cheese.
I don't care about these.
Let me just take the ball.
Wake up. Just take a photograph, please.
Well, isn't it in the notes? I haven't had any.
Bring it back.
Right when it's empty.
Doodle.
I guess I'm going to sit up here.
Yes, you are, because we need the help. Okay, next step.
I'm in a paranoid.
We are missing the, That's great. We are missing the pages of flavor notes.
What?
The pages of the flavor notes. Yeah. Yeah, it was a whole, no, that was something else.
That tastes like sour.
It isn't any good, is it? Until you eat it with chocolate.
No, it was her kiss. Her kiss tastes like sour.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about chocolate. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. So, chocolate tasting is becoming on par right now with wine tasting. And certain sites, in particular chocosphere.com, which I recommend you all go to, allow you to even purchase the actual manufacturer's tasting discs. This is the stuff that your various chocolatiers will send to, or your chocolate plantations will send to chocolatiers so that they can decide whether or not they want to buy those cocoa beans this year. I passed you out, I hope you all have one, a chocolate wheel. In typical DEFCON fashion, something went missing, so I was going to give you flavor notes, which were what experts think of chocolate. I have for you 5 single plantation chocolates. They are all from the same chocolatier, a man named Michel Cuisel. I use his cocoa beans to make hot chocolate with. I buy his cocoa nibs, I steam them in cream, and then I add sugar to taste. He's one of the world's greatest. And these are his attempt to try and come up with the perfect balance from a single area. So we have Madagascar, we have San Domingo, we have Côte d'Or, which is on the Gold Coast of Africa. We have there's another Venezuelan, and the third one I can't remember. The fifth one I can't remember where it's from, but I'll find out and tell you in a second. So what I would like you to do is come and get one of each, and if there's enough, you can have 2. I don't want to take any of this stuff home, so if there's enough, whatever we have left over after we're finished talking about it, come eat some more. And I just want you to eat them one at a time and look at your chocolate wheels and just see if you can figure out any of those sort of flavor notes. But here's how I want you to eat it, okay? Oops, we got through the bagnoles. I want you to look at it first. Is it smooth? Does it have little rough spots? Are there nibs in the chocolate? Or did they grind it completely to a fine powder? Touch it. What does it feel like? Snap it in half. Because you'd be surprised. Stale chocolate tastes very different from fresh. And it sounds different, and you can hear the difference. Smell it, and then taste it. Let it roll around, let it melt. Until the fat melts on your tongue. And that's the only reason why they include something like soy lecithin in a chocolate bar, is because that emulsifies the fat and allows it to melt. It has to melt. Then, what I want you to do is check your chocolate wheels, look at any of the tastes, see if you can find any of those flavor notes, chew it for a minute, swallow it, and then see if you can find what the aftertaste is. And then how do you rate it? Okay? Is there any more wine left? We've got. So unfortunately, it's much more like you'll have to carry your own water or something with you. I'm sorry. But please come on up and try some of this.
There are two sets, one starting there and one starting here. They're in the same order from inside out or outside in.
Which is awesome.
You got all this stuff.
Up the sides, go back in the middle. Just like this, guys. That's good chocolate soup.
Yeah.
Grab one from each of these tubs and then go back down that way. They actually have a good weight to put this on.
They have good lunch sticks.
One from each tub and back to the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, you guys, for coming and for being willing to do this, because I'm so tired of people eating at the Hofbräu House. Vegas is a fantastic eating city. If people would ever leave the Riviera, you'd be surprised. Ask Pantera and Tara; they know. The three of us have been commiserating and trying to get a chance to go out to dinner together.
Just pick some up.
Firefly for tapas. The steak restaurant over in Circus Circus, which is amazing. And Blue Ribbon Sushi. If you're willing to pay for it, you can choose your cut of beef from the meat locker you see as you walk in. They have everything hanging and aging. It's pretty damn amazing. Oh, thank you. Pantera has a few more. Pantera, you want to come? Tell them about some of the places you've eaten since you've been here.
Can't get past you. Yeah, let me come here.
Come up here. So here's another food snob.
All right, if you're looking for a good place to eat here, there is Bouchon, which was started by the same person that started the French Laundry in San Francisco, and they have fantastic foods. We had an amazing chicken there just yesterday. We also went to the shopping mall at Caesars. In the main floor is a fantastic kind of steak house. And where else do we go? Is it Joe's? Yeah, Joe's. And the service was fantastic, and they had a really good Scotch list.
Nobu? I don't know how to get there. You just have to...
You go to Manhattan.
No, if I'm in Manhattan, I prefer Neo for Japanese fusion or Blue Ribbon for sushi.
I'm not that complicated. I'm just saying I know Nobu is in Manhattan. It was a bad joke.
Nobu London is my favorite.
That's interesting.
Multitasking. Unique spirit.
And I have no plans. Well,
That's not.
I do recommend that for Vegas. Sweet. Let me know how you like it. Actually, I do.
They're all different. There's two sections. This one and that section are the same, but
This is the driver
Down.
for this this blue laser pointer. That board will make one of
I think
these.
we ran out.
Okay. Yes. Yes, it's good. By the way, some new chocolatiers. Cho. Have you been on Cho? We were talking about American chocolatiers. I'm sure you guys all know Scharfenberger, right? San Francisco, very good chocolate. Have you gotten on Cho's mailing list yet? Cho was started by two .com millionaires who just decided that they wanted to make chocolate. They are still in their beta testing phase. So you join up, just go, it's TCHO, and just sign up, and for $5 or so you get these little brown barcoded envelopes filled with something, and which they think might be fruity or might be lemony or might be nutty or something else, and then you taste it and you go back on the website and you tell them what you thought of it. So if you're interested, Cho's a great place to go, and the stuff's good. It's damn good. Oh yes, pen. You have to pen me.
Yes, every plate is different. Two sections.
Do it all. Kermit Lynch carries it. Yeah. I'll post everything. Yep. I will post all the things that we've eaten here, and I will include the experts' flavor notes for this chocolate, and so that you can all know. And I will also give you where to get it from and how much you can expect to pay for it. Okay?
I haven't tried it yet.
There's more if you want seconds. Actually, you guys, I'm so addicted to this stuff that not only did I bring it for you, but I brought 5 bars of Côte d'Or, which is another brand of chocolate. I brought 5 bars of Zay bars just to eat during con. So, but because I couldn't touch this was more expensive. So I brought some stuff that at least I could eat. Goodness.
Okay, number 1, plate.
You guys wonder why she's so hyper.
No, I'm normally like this. Everybody see Real Genius? Because I'm 19, I'm hyperkinetic, I'm brilliant, guys are a little afraid, probably start to think about it, I'd be upset. I had this roommate who drove me crazy, really crazy, they'd take her away in an ambulance and everything, but I don't think that was my fault.
Cool. That's the point of the tasting.
Great frequency is like that. Renderman's wife, she's the same issue. She has to be very, very careful. Which is why I chose chocolate without nuts. Yeah. So you have to do the skin. Tastes a little bit like okay, we're out of cups, so they're going to have to taste the vinegar by dipping. So do we have any other? Okay, so let's put like 10 of those across with this stuff and 10 of those with this stuff. Okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. Every time it goes to sleep, I lose the document. Oh, thank you. If I ever get rich, I'll just pay for this myself. I would rather have you guys learn this than just have to pay for it. And and keep them separately. You have to keep them separate. Okay, you guys are probably going to think I'm nuts for raving over vinegar. But if you have never tasted real balsamic vinegar, you have no idea what you're getting. The crap you buy in a grocery store, the stuff you get in most restaurants, unless you're paying $50 to $100 a plate, is not balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is made exactly like wine, except that it isn't fermented. And it is made with high-quality grapes. Whoa, hold on. And bottles this size of the good stuff are aged 100 years, and they sell for $250. Okay? What I brought for you to taste is the best I can afford to share, okay? But this is the stuff we use on a daily basis. This is the stuff we save for people we really, really like. That's the stuff I picked up in the local Albertsons. I want you to try to take them both. What I've got are spoons for you to dip in them, because you don't need that much. Most people that are fanatics about balsamic vinegar carry it in tiny vials in their purses or in their pockets with silver spoons, and then they dole it out on things. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. I know people that drink it as after dinner drink. This is not what you're thinking of when you're thinking of vinegar. Okay, so try the bad stuff first, and then try the good stuff. Okay, that okay. So bad stuff on that side. Wait. Hold on.
We're not done yet. Wait.
Just
thank you.
Hold on. Okay.
Please. Hold on. Are we doing bad and good at the same time, or two different lines?
Which is easier?
Bad here.
No, this is good.
Bad here.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Put those over there.
Okay, so two bads and two goods.
No, we'll do 5.
These are the goods, right?
Yes, these are the cheaps. She's got the goods. This is all cheap.
Okay.
Put those on the outside over there too.
All right, so we're going to put bad on this side, good in the middle, bad on that side, more good in the middle. Okay? Does that work for you guys?
Good one. This is the bad. Okay, this is the one.
And thank you guys. I really appreciate your patience. I know this is kind of disorganized, but they don't give us any setup or prep time.
These are
good.
You just dip our spoon in there?
Yeah, but
Some
not
more
the,
goods?
okay, we want bads first. So just dip a spoon in it, and then get a new spoon for the other stuff. We got plenty of spoons.
Hold on, we haven't gotten the bad out yet.
Okay.
Here's your fifth. Here's your fifth.
Here's the bad. Here's the bad.
That's your fifth good.
This is my fifth. This
Yeah.
is your 5.
5 goods. I got
3. I need 2 more goods.
Gotta take it to double check, right?
6.
Okay,
Need
so
one more good.
1 more good and 1 more bad. This is bad.
This is the bad stuff.
That's good stuff.
Good stuff.
The best things to use this in, drizzle it on top of peaches. We mix it in with pancake batter. It's amazing stuff that you can do this. We make a cooked beet, arugula, fresh Parmesan cheese, and can't remember what else is. Oh, walnuts or pecans salad. That this stuff is just amazing on.
Next time. Just go. Use the others. Use one for good, one for.
But there are lots of recipes that you can use this in, and you only use a very, very little. We use about an eighth to a half of a teaspoon with stuff that we're making. You don't need much at all.
This is the bad.
This is the bad stuff. The first stuff you'll get is the bad. Okay, it's just normal balsamic vinegar that you get in a grocery store. Now try the good stuff. Mm-hmm. It's candy, isn't it? It tastes like candy, doesn't it? It's a syrup. Alton Brown, one of the TV food chefs, drinks his out of little glasses like this, little shot glasses worth. Oh, yeah. Fresh strawberries. This is fantastic on fresh strawberries or fresh peaches. This is bad.
That's a bad. You start with bad.
So just pick a bad, any bad. I believe that's in aged over 20. This is the good stuff. This is about 100 years. No, because I couldn't afford that. I'd have had to charge it to like $20 just for the vinegar.
Are these the same? Yeah, these two are the same. We set them up both ways. Let's go down the same.
This is the bad one. This is the good one.
Again.
You'll notice the difference in the texture.
Yep, sorry.
This one's kind of...
I will put up places where you can get this stuff. I'll put up an entire website, a list of all sources, list of all things. Bad, good.
This way to the egress. It's a big
Yeah,
bird.
it should be linked on DEFCON.
Invented by P.T. Barnum.
It's the same way, but they age it in steel, and they age it for maybe 6 months, and then they bottle it and stick it in the store. So they can legally call it balsamic vinegar, and it may even be made in Modena, but
I'm going to start calling it video, because it's not really bad.
well, if people don't get a chance to know.
If you notice that one, it just kind of slides right off your spoon. Pay attention to how that one sticks.
Yeah.
It has way more surface tension.
We have a Boston dinner thing, but not very intimidating.
Oh, hell no. Home cooking is almost always the best. See, as long as you buy good ingredients, no matter what you make is going to taste good. And it doesn't matter if you're making homemade macaroni and cheese or something like that. All the stuff that you buy in a grocery store, you used to make at home anyway. And it's just a poor imitation of the stuff you can do just by cooking. That's true.
No shots of vinegar.
Yeah.
Not that kind of bar.
Hey, sweetie. Did you want to taste?
No, I'm not.
You could have some if you want.
You want some chocolate?
I can't remember the name. It's inside of Circus Circus. Yes, you go upstairs and ask for their steakhouse.
So this is the bad one?
Thank you.
This is the medium. No, this is good.
It's one of my favorites.
Not as good.
Not as good.
Yes.
Great.
I transferred it. I'm using
If
the
you
same
notice
technique
how
used to
it,
get
notice how it
tamper
looks
evidence
on
seals off
that
of
spoon. Now
machines.
turn
I
that
used that
one
to
around
transfer your sticker from my old laptop to my new laptop.
and see how it kind of clings like a syrup.
I have a secret stash of them. I got like 20 or 30 of them stored away.
They actually do.
But you guys are family. Okay.
Wow, that is very different.
It is, isn't it?
Please make room for the next guy.
I have a question.
You betcha.
Oh, sorry. So is vinegar, is this a regional thing like wine? If I like French wine, I'd like French vinegar?
Real balsamic vinegar is only made in the So, we're not eating it.
Oh, okay.
So if you want the real stuff, this stuff, or even this stuff. I believe we're going to be moving, the last thing is going to be the miracle fruit. Yeah, we're going to be starting with that, and I'll show you.
Okay. Nothing like miracle whip, right? Okay.
So this is the stuff that we buy.
It's a miracle that you have the same name.
$43 a bottle.
Because you understand what it's cost you.
Not unless I stay.
If you're interested, this is the stuff that you're tasting. Come take a look at the box. We got this at Zabar's in Manhattan for $44. The bottle of vinegar will last for 6 months. It is worth the investment. So you can either pass it around or take pictures of stuff. I know many local good grocery stores carry this because I found it also at De Bruno's in Philadelphia.
I have a question. How does it travel? Can you get it from Amazon?
It travels just fine because I threw it in my suitcase without any.
Amazon would probably have this stuff too.
It might. It might. Yes. Okay. Okay. We've only got 10 minutes. We got to hurry, guys, because now's the fun part.
It's over there.
Okay. So the last thing I want to do is screw with you. So when Ed and I first started talking about doing this talk, this was the first thing that came up that we both thought of at the same time. They're in the outside pocket, front top pocket.
And then that's the good stuff.
Bad.
Good, bad, and
Bad, good. See, cork, screw cap. Take nitrate and wine.
Right. So we're going to have to really hurry this one. This might have to be like a mad rush. Miracle fruit messes with your mind. This is a berry grown in Japan. It's very hard to grow. And it's hard to get started from seeds, which is why you don't see it much here, even though you can buy them. It's usually sold in tablet form. What I want you to do is take the tablet, chew it up, and let it dissolve on your tongue, and move it around and coat your entire tongue in the back of your soft palate.
Don't swallow until you feel like
Yeah.
everything in your mouth has been covered by it. Say it again. Don't swallow after you chew up the tab until you feel like everything has been covered in your mouth. The miraculin in it actually physically changes the shape of your taste buds so that all of your taste buds respond to sweet.
You will not be able to taste sour. You will not be able to taste bitter. You're going to be sucking on lemons and thinking it's lemonade. You're going to be eating lettuce and thinking it's candy. When you try sweet things, the first time I ate a strawberry after I'd taken this, I had to spit it out. I'd never tasted anything so saccharine and sickeningly sweet in my life. So come get a tablet and then try any of the foods you feel like trying that we have over here. Grab a bunch of them, grab a plate, put a bunch of stuff on, and we'll all go in and watch the closing ceremonies.
Lemon, lime, like all this stuff right here.
We're on the vinegar, but we could
We'll take a tablet over here.
No. Don't want my booze.
Okay, which ones are which?
This is the good. Let's do this up.
Do not take the Miracle Berry tablets until after you are done tasting everything else. Otherwise, it'll make everything weird.
No, everything tastes like sugar with Miracle Berry. So after you get done with the vinegar and everything, then we'll do the milk.
Yeah, we're having a line here too.
Okay.
No,
Have you had the vinegar yet?
No. Yes, we had that. We did that already.
Has everybody had the vinegar already back there? Vinegar? Yes. Okay, vinegar shut down.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Just want to make sure. We want to pull it away.
and I'm going to start packing up.
Oh, that's a bad situation.
So wait, just chew and stir it all around?
Here, chew it up so it dissolves and so everything in your mouth is coated by it. Wait a few minutes or wait a few moments.
We have plenty of plates.
Go ahead and
fill them with salty, sugar, sour, whatever, and just try it out.
do we need more tablets?
I'm going to go down the line and pass tablets.
Oh, yes, go that way because we pass them down. And I have more tablets.
Yes.
Anything like the grapefruit is really good, and there's some sour candies down there. Are we out on that side?
I don't know where the cup is right way.
Where you get those tablets at? The store?
Think geek.
Well, I know we got them on Think
You can
Geek.
get them off of eBay and find them anywhere. They're not really that common in
exactly.
Mouse, can I pull your bag down?
Just go ahead and try these.
She had like a new MLM every year to be a member of. I don't want like that big.
We're not practicing medicine.
Hold on. Things aren't that easy.
Punch your plates, guys. You're on the block.
They were eating it out and getting some right there. Oh, they're cutting over there.
Spent so much time.
Did you let it dissolve? Without swallowing?
Who needs a tablet?
Because it should have been working. I'm surprised.
Just hand it to us and one, please.
Can you get a tablet? What happens if you eat the grapefruit?
Yeah, I'm getting some.
Let's see if we can get you another. Maybe.
Who needs Miracle Berry?
Weird. Yeah, you're supposed to let it dissolve and coat the tongue completely.
The chewing is
Do we have
just
any
to
more?
break it up so it dissolves more and they can spread it around more.
There's more money. Can I see this? Yeah. Let them try the other one. Wait, seeing you again. Goodbye, Tara.
There's the bad stuff.
Yeah, let it coat it completely. You want to coat the soft palate as well as
Who needs Miracle Berry?
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff.
Oh, dude, it's a huge difference, isn't it? Have you had, what is that mushroom?
Magic?
No.
Taki?
Oh, I probably have, actually. Yes, it's good stuff.
I got more tablets if people need them.
Of those that you could
Yeah.
They're all the same year and they're all the same vintage. And because it's like a port, it's a blend of port.
This is not the brown as bed.
We're just going to throw out.
Does everybody have a tablet?
Down the entire thing. In one go. Just chug.
Do we have any more tablets or no?
I think we're out of. Okay, there's a few tablets left for those who haven't gotten it.
If you haven't got a tablet,
Yeah, make sure they're broken in half.
and then make sure it coats your mouth good and have some samples.
Yeah, it's got to coat your mouth. Feel free to take this stuff into the closing ceremonies.
there
Show
any-
everybody what they missed.
Are there any more tabs or is that it?
That's it. She's got a few and that's it.
Alright, we've got a bunch over here.
So there's more tablets over here and there's more tablets. Everyone's got tablets?
I got this entire line.
Okay, you go girl.
done?
Thank you, sweetie.
We need more cheese.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
And whatever.
Can somebody grab a little bit of cheese?
I'm taking this one.
Also, we need to bring
Okay, who here doesn't have a tablet?
Oops. We're not going to have it.
Alright, whatever. Alright. I think I can handle that.
Oh, yeah.
This is a hybrid nut. This is how it works. This is the
It's all the same stuff going this way too. You're out of some
Here, split this.
Nobody else gets to have any.
Got an hour.
Even also the portal tastes good. Yeah.
But actually, it may also have to be half an hour.
Okay, split it.
Alright.
Sometimes grapefruit.
There you go.
Oh, I hate grapefruit.
Yes.
This is bad stuff or good stuff? Lemons and
That's
lemons.
good stuff.
We left the edges of the bad stuff.
We left the bad stuff for the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet. I can give you half of this.
I have a list.
They can last from half an hour to an hour depending on.
Wait,
Also,
Yeah, I was worried about that too.
I forgot to mention with the Miracle Berries, I recommend doing the chocolates and or cheeses last because it's creamy and it will wipe it out of your mouth. So do the citrusy stuffs first and then end with the chocolates and the cheeses. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the box? It looks like we got miracle berries
I imagine so.
interwebs.
I have lids for some of these, and we have, it looks like 4 things of the good balsamic vinegar left. Does anybody want
This
to take
is
it?
good. That's the bad stuff. After Miracle Berry, it tastes a lot better.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it tastes sugar.
Also, feel free to retry the vinegars after you do the Miracle Berry.
Yeah, try the bad. Now try the bad vinegar.
Yeah. Try the bad vinegar.
Right.
You got some of the bad vinegar back over there.
Over there on that side.
I know, check
This is the bad vinegar. That's the good vinegar.
There's more bad vinegar right there.
The bad vinegar doesn't taste so bad.
I know online you can order those.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna. All these are the same.
I love lemons and limes.
Yes, it is. It's good now, isn't it?
Well, it's much less bad.
Berries? We got berries.
We got berries.
They need berries. At some point, the guys that I followed,
You can anywhere from $10 to $15 for 10 tablets, and I've been giving you a half a tablet.
so I wonder how they fall out.
It's about 6 to.
Okay, we gotta get out of here soon. I have 3 things of the good vinegar if anyone would like to take them home. One for you. Anybody else?
Vinegar to
You
go.
took. Well, one from this side and one from this side. Because definitely.
I'd like to keep it. So
I'm gonna make one more. There you go.
It doesn't pay being dishonest for small things.
No, it doesn't.
There you go.
Because then you get a reputation and say, no, I didn't do it. They believe you. And then you retire.
Okay, we're gonna have to pack up everybody and head to the closing ceremony. So come take us up quick.
What? Sure. Go ahead. There's nothing on it. There's cheese.
And this is the maker of the chocolate you were tasting.
Nothing left on it. Go
I
ahead.
will put up the photographs of the actual bars that you had and each and everything the experts have said for those particular flavors. Okay?
What?
I was skeptical. But no more. I thought it was way too small.
Everybody's interested and enjoying it. And of course everybody has I love this stuff. I am so tired of their selling for crap when you can get really good for a relatively price.
Yeah.
You know where to go. Hello? Okay, we're on our way. I'm finishing up my talk right now. So I can't save me a seat, okay?
Alright. Yeah,
I'd say so.
Do you have any closing?
Thank you so much.
Are you going to make any closing remarks or no?
Not really. Just that I'll post everything.
I just want to cut the video.
Let's start packing.
Yeah, we're out of time. Go right ahead.
What do you think? We have garbage.
Hey, that was great.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
You're all very welcome, and thanks you guys for coming.